Hello, friends. This is Rajesh. Hope you all are doing well. Friends, we are starting a new series of one of the very important DevOps tools, which is about Docker. So, as you know, Docker is basically a containerization technology platform tool, right? So, whenever you want to create any kind of a microservice as a container, so basically Docker is one of the tool which we used mostly, right? So that's the reason, guys, I thought that I'll start a new series on the Docker course. Now, who can join this course basically? So, guys, anyone who is very new to the DevOps world and who want to learn the containers technology, he can join this course. Or else a person who's already working in the industry and who want to upgrade his skills more onto this Docker, even he can also join this course. Now, what are the prerequisites for this course? Basically, the very basic prerequisite that he should be aware of the Linux platform. So that's what. So basics understanding of Linux and the Linux command is a very much essential. And also, like if he is aware of any cloud technology like either AWS or Azure, it will be an added advantage because we'll be showcasing a lot of Docker container services even in the cloud platform also, right? So if anyone is not aware of Linux, they can visit my channel and they can go through this playlist, whatever I have given. Suppose if you go to my channel, Rajesh-Devops, this is my channel. And if you see here, if you come down here, can you see here that there's a playlist by name Linux and Bash shell scripting. So anyone who is not aware of Linux, they can go through this all these 21 videos and they can able to upgrade themselves with the Linux operating system. Okay, and also there is a new series of new playlists is available. One is Azure Networking and Azure Compute. So anyone want to learn on the Azure cloud, they can go through this playlist. And if anyone want to upgrade their skill sets in AWS, so there is a playlist by name AWS 2023. Even they can go through this playlist also to understand. Okay, so now come back here. So when we are going to start this course, basically this is a weekend batch. So we will be only having a class only on Saturday, Sunday, right? That's how. And we are planning to start this course on 20 from the this coming week onwards, 22nd of Feb. We are planning to start it. So basically, this course is for the 5 to 6 weekends, and each and every weekend, that is Saturday, Sunday, we are going to have this course at the evening time, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST. So usually, like we will have the class at 6 o'clock p.m., 6 p.m. IST, and we will give a break in between, like when we start the course, and usually it is for almost like 3 hours, but you can just consider the course will be or the session be for max up to 2.5 hours per day. It means that each day, Saturday and Sunday, we'll have a 2.5 hour session. So in that case, in that what happened, right? If we are trying to plan for attending for 5 to 6 weekends, so we'll be covering almost 25 to 30 hours of course content for this Docker actually. Okay. Now let's see what are the course syllabus. So guys, the course basically I've divided the entire course content into 10 modules actually, right? There are 10 modules are there. Okay. So it starts with the basic about introduction to the Docker, right? So what is a Docker and what's the difference between the Docker and the virtualization and with the container technology, right? And what are the different types of services we are having? Like we are having multiple architecture and microservices architecture. So we'll be discussing about that also. And once we understand all this concept, we'll be understanding about why Docker came into the picture and what are the Docker features, where exactly we use this Docker, and what is the difference between a Docker image and the container. All such things we will be uh, covering the as a part of module one. In the module two, we'll be learning about the Docker architecture and installation. We'll also understand about what is a Docker client and Docker engine. Okay, installing the Docker, okay, onto the Linux platform, and try to understand about the Docker Hub account and how to create a Docker Hub account and how to push and pull the images from the Docker Hub. All such things we're going to cover into the module 2. So in the module 3, you see that we will be more concentrating on the Docker commands. So there are various commands are there which we have to understand. So starting from the Docker image pull, push, login, rm, prune, rmips. There are so many commands are there which will be covering under this section, and we'll also be understanding about what are the Docker environment variables, how to configure the Docker daemon to listen to the port for the external connections, and a little bit advanced things we'll be covering over here like Docker TLS, basics of TLS security and handshake, creating a self-signed certificate and CA with the OpenSSL generating CSR, and also using TLS to protect the Docker daemon, secure communication between Docker client and the daemon. These are certain advanced things which we'll be covering as part of in this module 3. So once you completely understand about the Docker commands and internally try to understand about how Docker client and Docker server they communicate each other. So then in that case, what happened? We will be understanding the internal about like how exactly Docker works, right? So as part of this model, we'll be covering all such things. Now, after that, like we'll be covering about like what is a Docker file, how to write a Docker file, what are the Docker file instructions which are available. There are many things are there which we would be covering under this Docker file, and all these instructions will be going with a lot of examples, creating a lot of examples to understand about how the Docker file is written and how to create an image out of Docker file. And apart from this, we'll be learning about some other important advanced things like BuildX, BuildKit, and builders. Create an inspector builder and local and remote builders. Docker build cloud, add a Docker builder, cloud builder, and Docker images, build images in the cloud. So these are certain things, additional things which we'll be learning as part of this model 4. And in the model file, we'll be learning more onto the Docker images, okay, and how these Docker images are built, what is the internal architecture of these images, right? It means that when you try to build an image, like how exactly this image are built, right? What is the image layout structure, right? So all such things we are going to cover. Plus, we will also cover about the build process, the Docker image, and the tag image, okay? Run, inspect, and remove and the prune images, and also like we'll see what exactly the caching is all about and how to improve the speediness of to build the Dockerized image, everything, how to build it, everything. All such things we'll be covering as part of this model 5. In the model 6, it will be a continuation of this, the model 5 itself, where we'll be learning about the Docker build process. Actually, basically, we have a single stage and we have a multi-stage, building a Docker file, and single stage Docker to build to contain the Java application. And we will also be learning about how to build any Go language or Java based or Node.js based application. Cache management in the Docker, AWS S3 as a cache storage backend, multi-platform images with the Docker manifest file and buildx and a build image for a ARM or AMD or x86 architecture. How exactly you can have a parallel builds in Docker to speed up the build process. All such things we'll be covering in this model 6. So model 6 plays a very important stuff, guys, because most of the interviews questions will be asked even in this model 6 also. So then later we'll be understanding about like what are the important security tools which are there available for you to scan the Docker images. So we see that a lot of images which comes right, which has a lot of vulnerabilities actually, which has a lot of issues. So we need to basically use some kind of a tool to make sure that like there are no vulnerabilities, issues when it comes to the Docker images. So that's what we'll be using Trivy tool. So that is one of the very important tool which we'll be learning. And also there will be a tool by name Dockley. So these are the two important tools which we'll be covering as part of module 7 to check to do all kind of a security scan checks as well as check the vulnerabilities checks, right? So in the model 8, we'll be covering mainly about the Docker Compose, right? And we'll also understand about why exactly we have Docker Compose, how we can do a build and deployment using the Docker Compose, and why in most of the organizations we use these Docker Composes. So this also will be discussing a lot, and also we'll see that how to monitor the Docker daemons with the Prometheus Grafana, building a Docker images in the Kubernetes pod using the Kubernetes build driver for the Docker. All such things we'll be covering as part of the Docker Compose. The ninth model is nothing but the Docker volume and the Docker networking. So we'll be mainly concentrating on what is the Docker volume and how you can what are the Docker networkings we have, what are the different types of networkings are available, right? All such things we'll be covering as part of this model. So this is also a very important model, guys, because most of the interview question answers will be asked even under this section also. And the last model, what we'll be covering is a Docker Swarm, basically. So Docker Swarm is basically an orchestration mechanism, which is provided by the Docker itself, right? We'll be learning about all the Docker Swarm features. We'll be learning about the Docker Swarm secrets, how to create a secrets, how to generate the secrets and all, right? We'll also be learning about how to scale our Docker Swarm services, how to deploy the multiple containers on the Docker Swarm cluster, right? All such things we'll be covering as part of it. And along with that, we'll also be covering about the ECR and EKS on AWS, and also ACR and AKS on Azure also. How to create an image, how to build an image, how to deploy an image into the EKS cluster onto the AWS, as well as onto the AKS, Azure Kubernetes Service, onto the Azure also, as like we'll be learning it. So with this, like we'll be learning how exactly we can achieve the same Docker stuff service into the AWS or into the Azure cloud also. So guys, these are the some very important 10 models which we'll be covering as part of this course. And as I said, like it mostly this course is for 5 weekends, but sometime it might extend to one more week. So you can expect that this course might go up to 6 weekends, right? So it is only for Saturday, Sunday, and as I said, right, and this is the timings which we have fixed it. Okay, now coming back here, yeah. So regarding the course fees, guys, I have kept a very minimal course fees for this Docker course, and it is just 2000 INR rupees, right? So you can pay this 2000 INR, 2000 rupees for enrolling for this course. For the outsider who are outside the India, so they have to pay the 25 US dollars for enrolling for this course. It also includes the exchange charges also, right? Now, how you can enroll for this course? So basically, whoever are interested to join for this course, basically they can ping to my WhatsApp number, and so I will communicate with that person for all kind of a payment details. So once you do the payment, once you enroll for this course, once you do the payment, so you can share all the details about the payment with the screenshots. So I will add you into a new WhatsApp group where like all the details, the further details about the course and the course curriculum and the course content, everything will be shared to you in the separate WhatsApp group. Okay. Now, like post recording, it means that post every day, every weekend, whatever the class we take, guys, we will be recording that session, and we'll be providing you all the video access for the lifetime. So suppose somebody if they misses that particular day session, they can go to that recording and they can able to understand. If you still have any doubts, you can connect with me. Okay. So guys, this is all about the course announcement. I hope that like you will like this course, and we'll be learning a lot of advanced topic in the Docker things. What are the new features and which are the new advanced features which have come up, right? All those things I will be trying to cover into this course actually. Okay. So if you have any doubts, guys, you can reach out to me onto my WhatsApp number, and you can just message me, or you can even call me for any kind of a clarification. Okay, or else you can put your comments in this video section itself. Okay, so see you guys there in the course then. Thank you all. Bye.